All right, 9.4.2, the Haitian Revolution. This one's super big because this is considered basically the most successful slave revolt in all of world history because the sheer numbers and the time that it happened, and it just being super successful. So anyways, we're going to talk about the Haitian Revolution. So Haiti was not always called Haiti. You can see Cuba right here. Florida is right up here. Okay, so these are part of this Caribbean part of the little islands. There's more over here that is just south of Florida, right there in between North and South America. Okay, so this left part right here is called Saint Domingue, and that is the French colony. Later becomes Haiti when they get their independence, but at the time when they were under French rule, it was Saint Domingue. So they, just like other revolutions, they were tired of their second class or low treatment. They were tired of not being treated equally. So they revolted because of it. So let's see. They grew sugar, cotton, coffee, and among others for France. It was a huge portion of France's economy. Basically, like 2/3 of all of their trade comes from this one colony. So super huge moneymaker. France runs into trouble with money because of, basically losing their colony. Definitely brought in lots of money for them. So not only... of course, the American and French revolutions influenced the Haitian revolutions. Of course, that did. It wasn't just those, but, also people have heard about John Locke and Jean-Jacques Rousseau, who are the famous Enlightenment thinkers that have been talked about in a lot of your Apex videos, that have said some of the most astounding things. That's why those two names are names that are, really, really big in the Enlightenment. So something that happened was the new French, they started doing their, oh, you know what? Okay, so sorry. When France had their revolution, they granted these people, free people of color, or people who are called the affranchis. Basically they were free colored people. They granted them citizenship, but the aristocrats and the people who controlled Saint Domingue did not like that. They rejected this. So basically these guys right here, like the ones in this picture, they revolted. The slaves joined them. Okay. There was a guy named Toussaint Louverture. I'm sure I just messed up his name. He was the man who was most recognized for his leadership and his, skills. He became the leader of the Free State until Britain and Spain got involved. They saw that France's colony was starting to dissipate, so they were thinking that they wanted to get involved so they can win that colony. Mostly wanted all that extra money. So they won the colony. After French kind of got Toussaint and others kind of back on their side, say, hey, they basically promised that they'll abolish slavery. So Toussaint's like, okay, all right, we'll join you again. So they kick out Spain and Britain. And then, so they set up the free government. Toussaint is the leader of this free government. But then Napoleon comes into charge. And he says, well, I don't care what they did. We still need slaves. So he sent troops in to reinstate slavery. And there was a huge war. They captured Toussaint. But a lot of the soldiers from Napoleon's soldiers got yellow fever, and then France had already started a war with Great Britain, and so they were focused on that war with Great Britain. So they just had to forfeit. So they pulled out. Unfortunately, by the time that they forfeited, Toussaint had died in jail, or else he would have been finally the leader of the new country. So now it's Haiti. But unfortunately, and this is just an unfortunate thing, and it happens, now we have people who were former Africans who, or American Indians, who, mostly Africans though, because they were brought in through the slave trade, right? And they had been oppressed for so long that now that they're in power, they decided just to kick it back to the other side, and they started killing many white colonists. A lot of them had to flee. If they didn't have friends, then they had to flee because they would get killed. So a lot of them had left, but not all of them. There's still a good amount that stayed, who were, good standing. Basically, the poor white people is mostly the rich white people who had to flee or was killed. So unfortunately, this is what happened after the Haitian Revolution. Social classes still continued. There are still differences in treatment between people according to their social class. No one would trade with them because American and other countries, they still had slavery. So they didn't want the slavery revolt ideas getting back to their country. So they decided not to trade with them. So not only did they lose their biggest purchaser, France, but now other purchasers don't even want to buy for them. And what they did have to trade, they had so little of it because of the war and being ruined from warfare in the revolution. So a lot of people lived in poverty. Part of that was also because the new government owned most of the land, so people couldn't establish their own capital because the government owned their land, so they weren't really allowed to own more. But still, it is the most successful slave revolt in history. So, and I'm sure they all would have gladly stayed in poverty if it meant them being free and not being slaves. So that's it for the Haitian Revolution.